Waiting for Instagram to allow me to go live before we do the intro. I guess this will be the norm going forward. There we go. All right. Waiting for Instagram to allow me to go live. Welcome to hopefully another series that I can try to be consistent on. I know I'm like a few episodes behind with the character creation and design. Life's been a little busy. I'm Terry Jenkins. I am the owner of Be Terrific Media. We are a light, I'm not even going to say that anymore. We are a creative writing company and we cater to the black nerd audience. That is not to exclude you if you're white, Asian, or Hispanic. We want you to read our stories as well. We're just trying to create more black diversity in series like anime, manga, in formats like anime, manga, and like novels. So that, to give us a safe space to cosplay as our favorite characters from these types of books, as well as cosplay from traditional manga, anime, and like novel formats. So that's what this is all about. It's all about diversity, inclusion, and safety. And that is our mission. Today starts a whole new project for me. We are going to write our first interactive video game. Now I've done this in college when I was pursuing my master's in creative writing. At the time, I was trying to create a video game, and when I got into my course called Writing for Games, we were introduced to this um, engine called Twine, which is what they use in the tell games, where it's narrative based. And so, for those of you who don't know what interactive fiction is, it's basically, if you remember me, you were a kid and you got these books called Choose Your Own Adventure. You got to choose which action you wanted to do after reading a certain passage. So, like for instance, it might be Mary. Now, I'm not going to use that because I don't even remember the rhyme. The Three Little Pigs, right? The big bad wolf walks down the street. He sees a house made of bricks. He sees a house made of sticks. He sees a house made of hay. And then you get to choose which one you want to go to. So you might say, "Oh, I choose the house with hay." It would then tell you to turn to page 47. And it's like, "Oh, the big bad wolf goes up to the house of hay, blah, blah, blah." And then it might give you two more choices: knock on the door or walk away. So that's basically what it is. In video games, especially lately, the games like, off the top of my head, the last one that I played that gave you a branching storyline like that is God of War 4. No, I don't think you have one there. Mortal Kombat, the last Mortal Kombat game, 11. You kind of sort of had a branching storyline, and that's what we are going to be creating here. Um, Now, again, this is a narrative based game. So the closest that I can also compare it to is visual novels, which are a big hit in Japan. Some visual novels have been made into anime, like Fate Stay Night, the Fate Unlimited Blade Works series, and I'm not sure if they did the other one, Heaven's Will, but so that's basically what we're making, is a visual novel where you, the reader, gets to pick a character. And as you can see, I'm on Instagram. So let's go ahead and let's go to the Twine engine. So this is Twine, and this is essentially me setting up everything. Again, my game is called, well, it's going to be called Sportscasters. Name might change. And basically, the original idea behind it was to create a fighting game using athletes. And then I also had to figure out how do we make it different from the cartoon Pro Stars. For those of you that know what Pro Stars is, I actually had that pulled up. So Pro Stars was a cartoon in the early 90s, and yes, I'm aging myself, that starred Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and Bo Jackson. Wayne Gretzky represented hockey, Michael Jordan represented basketball, Bo Jackson represented football and baseball. And they were they were superheroes, right? And matter of fact, we'll play a quick maybe intro to it. But um villains using high tech sports equipment. So the closest every time I put in ChatGPT or anything like that, it comes up as, oh yes, it's a superhero cartoon, and to a certain degree, it is a superhero cartoon where they essentially they do use sports related equipment. So I'm just gonna play the intro. You'll basically be able to see from the intro. So like, here's Michael Jordan, there's Wayne Gretzky, and these were essentially the best players in their sport, arguably at the time. Hey, Chris, long time no see. So as we see here, Michael Jordan had shoes that are basically like rockets. You'll see Wayne Gretzky with rolling shoes that are also rocket powered. A hockey stick that comes out of his wrist guard. The hockey stick ejects the puck. Michael Jackson was just made to be like a really, really big strong guy. And you notice their costumes. Their costumes are what I would assume spandex. I hear you, Chris. So that was Pro Stars. So I was like, I'm wanting to make a fighting game like Mortal Kombat that has a strong story along with the gameplay. And I was like, oh, what will make it different? Let's use athletes. Plus, I also thought it would be a good way to try to get athletes to endorse the game. So then, but I also wanted to make sure that people aren't like, oh, Pro Stars, not that anybody really remembers this cartoon. But so I was like, oh, we'll give them elemental equipment so that way they create their own equipment. It doesn't have to be technology. But on the suggestion of somebody who I was really close to at the time, we decided to go with the sci-fi route. And that meant, for me, at the very least, making them cyborgs. And the only franchise that I can think of where the robots have elemental powers was Mega Man. So I based everything off the Robot Masters from Mega Man. We get in the personalities of wrestlers from the 90s and 80s and went on. And here are some of the original character designs. This is me just playing around to see if I can update the look. But like this was our baseball player. That was our tennis player. I can't make them any bigger. Our football player, our gymnast, hockey player, our figure skater, who was my favorite, as you can probably tell by the design. Our football player, his original design. And then this is also like one of his final ones. Our basketball player and our soccer player. So I tried to, at the time, I was trying to make sure that we had 4 female representing sports, 4 males. At the time, I believe this was based off Serena, and then we went to Naomi Osaka, and then this was Mirai Nagasu, inspired by. This was like a combination of Zion Wilson and Joel Embiid. This was supposed to be Gronk, and Megan Rapinoe. I forget who the hockey player is because I don't really watch hockey like that anymore. I believe it was Tyler Johnson from the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that's one of the things that we'll be doing as I write the visual novel. And Torres was Jose Altu from the Houston Astros in baseball. And if you want to know the wrestling gimmicks, Million Dollar Man, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Jake the Snakes Roberts, Rick the Model Martel, again, Million Dollar Man, the Big Boss Man, Ultimate Warrior, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Mr. Perfect. And obviously, you can tear the elements: earth, fire, earth, water. I decided to just stick with the four: um, air, water, air, fire, earth, and air. Um, I also played around with the idea that maybe they just have holographic, and obviously the light reflects the element that they're supposed to be. So that's something that will probably. Okay, see you, Chris. That will probably be something that we'll discuss as we go forward. As you watch me create the visual novel. So with that out of the way, I'm not going to go into the plot because the plot might change. Let's jump back over to Twine. That's some of the artwork that I might use. And as you see, I'm also using Midjourney to try to update the characters. But like I said, we'll talk more about that as we do more episodes. Um, so let's go back to. So here we have what is going to be called a passage, which are these blocks. And I can't see. I got my camera in the way. Ooh. So so now the way I totally forgot how to use this. I had to watch a video earlier today. When I go to put in, I guess there's two ways you can do it. You can put all your passages and then link them. I think right now, to me, it might be a little easier to do the links as I'm writing so that I can see the branching storylines and then go from there. So we're going to rename this passage introduction. And then for my text, I'm saying choose your fighter. And then I'm using double brackets to open up the choices and close brackets to close that choice. So these are just names because I'm thinking about changing their names. And if we do that, we're going to use athletes who are in the University of North Carolina, go Tar Heels, sports programs. Recently, like 4 years ago, I had the opportunity. I got invited by the U.S. Water female water polo team to come watch them play when I was working at a Hyatt. And I was like, I don't even know what water polo is, but I'm being invited, so I'm going. And I went, and it was fun. And I was like, oh man, this is cool. Why we gotta wait every 4 years to watch this kind of stuff? And then I realized while working at the hotel one night, there was a gymnastic competition between LSU, who are really big now, right? Thanks, Angel Reese. LSU. I can't even remember who they were going against, but I was like, oh, that's right. Some people still do gymnastics when they go to college, and sometimes the college athletes do make it onto the Olympic team. And I was like, oh, I should just start watching gymnastics. And then it gave me this idea that, oh, you can just watch college sports because a lot of college sports actually translate into the Olympic sports, like fencing, which I got into a few years ago too. So I actually it's been a while since I opened it when I did the research because I've been working on other. But as you can see, I got a tab for Tar Heels, and I have the gymnastic roster, which probably is going to be updated. I also have the figure skating club because there's not a figure skating team for UNC, but they do have a club. And I have women's tennis, their team there. I forget what I think she's on the tennis team, and oh, that's me thinking about going to their cybersecurity boot camp. But we also have Sydney from. So the reason why I looked them up was because I was looking for more athletes who may not be popular, who might love to be in the game. So if you want to look at them real quick for gymnastics, I forget because I was also trying to find like the race appropriate athletes, which was really hard at UNC. I'm not even gonna lie, but I'm pretty sure I saved their names if I thought that they fit. So for women's tennis, the I remember for tennis. Oh well, that's not right. But anyway, oh, I closed it. We got Sydney for women's soccer. And again, I'll just be borrowing their using their likeness. So I'm not going to even we're not even going to copy the picture. We're just going to say blonde hair, blah blah blah. Um, why is that not loading? All right, so here's Sydney. She's probably most likely will be our reference for our soccer player. Uh, just because there's tons of images of her. And then let's go back. Um, for the figure skating club, I believe. Oh, this is the actual club page. I thought I had saved the athlete. All right. So because I didn't save the athletes, I'm not going to make this video any longer than what it already is. Oh, okay, cool. So here's Alyssa Lynn. She's the competition director. She's going to be our reference for Miho, our figure skater. Click the wrong link. And then for tennis, we'll probably be using Anika, which would make sense, right? I'm pretty sure she's, yeah. So I actually found her actual Instagram photos. And as you can see here, yeah, so she's our tennis player reference. Because it was hard finding Latina, at least from UNC, because I wanted it to be local because I was also playing around with the idea of making a Tar Heels comic book novel where the athletes do use their skills to fight crime. And then I'm surprised I didn't say so. Well, no, we have soccer, we did tennis. Let's look at gymnastics. So for gymnastics, I'm almost positive that we went with Kaya Forbes, who also has a sister that goes to UNC and does um, actually no. No, for soccer. Oh no, this is gymnastics. Gotcha. So for gymnastics, I think we were looking for somebody that was Latina, and then I was like, all right, well, maybe we'll just keep her black because I was able to find like I was able to find a race for everybody. I could have sworn I'm gonna have to go back through, but again, these aren't final, and again, the goal is like we're just gonna be very basic in the description: hair, eye color, maybe height, weight, stuff like that. Maybe not hometown and stuff. But yeah, so let's jump back over to the story and choose your fighter. So again, I use two open brackets. You type the choice, you know, two closing brackets, and once you have all your choices down, we're gonna test it from here. And when people come to play the game, this is where they'll start. Choose your fighter, just like if you were playing a fighting game, you have to select your fighter, and they'll be able to click on the link to take them to the next page of the story for that particular fighter. So right now it's empty, right? So we're gonna go back. So let's work with. Let's go with. I don't want to do football first. Let's go with baseball because I do like Taurus as a sign, right? So if we click on that, double click, it brings up the passes for Norman or Taurus, which is still going to be his last name. And then we come up with something simple. So now I have to really think of what I'm going to write. I'll be doing that offline so that the videos aren't long, but just so you guys can see how fun this is going to be, but also how tedious. We're just going to say you were chosen. So we have to use second person, which means point of view, which means we're going to be saying you a lot. You were asked by, I'm going to say Kevin Hart because I have a funny idea in my head. You were asked by Kevin Hart to join the underground fighting tournament using your new cyborg cybernetic implants. Since you can't play baseball anymore due to a career ending college injury, you underwent you underwent the procedure that gave you your new abilities. You won tons of money in previous underground tournaments and used it to fund your new sports club that is baseball inspired. So then we're going to write, so are you in? or out? Kevin asks. And now this will be another prompt, right? So we're going to do open prompt, and we're going to say join the tournament. Refuse to join. So those are going to be the two choices, right? So now it saves automatically, and as you can see here, because of the two choices, it branches out. So eventually I will have to move all these out further apart. We'll just keep it there, or we can just kind of like line them together. So again, I haven't done a complete one for school. We only had to do, I think, 3 passages, which is what I'm basically going to do today. So now we'll go back to the introduction, and we're going to test it from here just to make sure everything works. Because double click. Always keyframe. So we're going to test it from here. Choose your fighter. We're going to choose Torres. And you see here, everything in white is the text. Blue are the choices. And we have joined the tournament, refuse to join. So then we'll go back. And now we can go to join the tournament. And then in second person, I think you could. I really don't remember the rules of second person, to be honest with you, other than using the pronouns you. I'm in. Well, you know what? We're gonna pretend like you're playing Mortal Kombat, right? And after you make your choice, we're gonna have you talk as if you were actually Torres. So, so this is join the tournament. You bet I'm in. You said as you summon your baseball bat from your hands and pound it lightly several times into your other hand. You smile arrogantly. Great, Kevin says as his as his crew follows him out. At least you're one of the smart ones. What's next? You ask. Don't worry. Your opponent will come to you. Several hours pass when a basketball player enters your club. He's tall, strong, and is wearing flamboyant shades with a high top. High top hairstyle. So we meet again. Torres. The athlete says his words feel like fire to your ears. Oh, please tell me you are in the tournament. Actually, please tell me you are my opponent, because I've been waiting for this a long time. I feel like we should throw a Spanish word in there, but I don't want to say essay because I don't really remember what it means. So we'll just leave it like that for now. And then we'll also say, you grin, baseball bat ready as Apollo has. For now, we'll just say glowing until I figure out if we're actually going to use elements or if we're just going to use holograms. Glowing basketball from his prepared to fight. And then we'll just do open brackets. And then we'll just, your next two options is fight Apollo, refuse to fight Apollo, close brackets. So again, that's going to, oh my goodness, I forgot to double click. Oh, no, we're good. I just got to rename. We'll call this Torres meets Apollo. And we'll click OK. And then we see our two new choices down here: fight Apollo, refuse to fight Apollo. So now let's double click on introduction, test it from here. Again, we're going to choose Torres, and we already know this part. So then, so you're in, you're out. Oh, I did mess it up. Doggone it. So we're going to double click. And then we got to rename this meeting with Kevin. And then we're going to write the second option. Nah, you say. Now get out of my club. Dumb, very dumb, Cameron says with a grin on his face. I'm going to take your club just like I did the others. And again, just to make the video short, hopefully it's short. I know it's not short. I know we're over 30 minutes. This is fine. I just don't want it to be an hour. Not yet. So we're going to say game over. And then we'll say change your mind. Close brackets. And we already have the title there. So I guess the thing to remember is when you're doing your choices actually become the title of the next passes. So you might want to think about just naming your or already having a name for your passages. So we're gonna go back to introduction. We're going to run the game from here. So you got to choose your fighter. Of course, we're going to pick our baseball player. We already know that Kevin asked you if you're going to join the tournament. So let's just say the players decide to refuse to join. We read the text for that. And then when they click game over, the game is over. Right? And you shouldn't be on. Now, if they decide to change their mind, we might have a passage in there so that they can change their mind. Now let's go back. So meeting with Kevin. So obviously I got to go back and change the title of that. You bet I'm in. And you see all our dialogue is here. And then the player has a choice to fight Apollo or refuse to fight Apollo. So that's it. I just wanted to do 4 quick passages just to show you. I don't know if I'm going to keep all this. Because again, I got to go and draft the actual story. But this will be a very good starting point, especially for you know how you play fighting games, and the fighter that you choose has their specific storyline. That's what we're doing. Um, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. It's I guess you can say that's a little bit of a Twine tutorial. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that bell to be notified of new videos. This is going to be this right here. The Writing for Games is one of the examples of YouTube specific content. Yes, I'm streaming the Twitch with this. Yes, I'm streaming the Instagram. Yes, I'm streaming the Twitter. But the audience that this is for is my YouTube audience. So like the links on Instagram will take you to YouTube. This is strictly for you guys. This is why I'm not playing music in the background, even though that's how I write my stories. Want to make sure I don't get no copyright strikes. So yes, make sure you hit the bell to be notified of new videos. Give us a follow, comment, and like this video. And do the same thing if you're watching this on Twitch. Subscribe to our channel, like the video, because you know it's not going to be up there for long. Instagram, Twitter, you guys know what to do. You need to, if you're not already following us, you need to go ahead and hit that follow button. Make sure you hit the like. Help us grow with the algorithm on all these platforms. Your help, your engagement helps us. I can't stress that enough. I'm not asking you to join the Patreon, even though if you decide you like our stuff and you click the link to go to our web page and you see the orange button on the post that this is going to be under, and you click that to become a Patreon, we have a $5 tier. We're going to consolidate the 4 different $5 tiers. We're going to make them one tier. We have a $15 tier and a $45 tier. We already have 3 members in the $45 tier. We have 2 members in the $15 tier, and we have 3 members in the 5. You can be the next one. So, because again, engagement helps, but money helps more. But again, I'm not asking for you to do all that. I'm just asking for you to engage by liking and following and subscribing. So until next time, and before I say goodbye, Thank you for your support for all our followers on all our platforms, including LinkedIn. And I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah, until next time.